This segment is all about preparing your business for exit. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and this segment is brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. Joining me on this segment is Doug Gjerde. He's a managing partner at Heritage Financial. Doug, welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Doug, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients that you specialize in working with?
Well, I specialize with doctors. I've also got a lot of retired professors and teachers, and then a segment who are business owners as well. So kind of specialty in different areas. The business owner side, I've been a business owner before. I bought and sold businesses. So the exit planning was kind of a natural outgrowth of that.
Excellent. Yes, for this segment on exit planning, tell us a little bit about those clients. For the folks that you work with, do you find that they have an understanding about exit planning, where they even, do they know the importance of it?
Uh, I think people do on one level, but most do not have anything in writing. They've just kind of got an idea of someday I'm going to get value out of my business for retirement. And they've probably talked to somebody else who's done it and gotten some multiple in their head and never really explored it in detail. So I think it's just kind of a vague concept for most people.
The aim of this segment in this series is really to try to solidify that, shed light on the importance of exit planning and what it's about. Can you kind of give us sort of a 10,000-foot view of the importance of exit planning, and what are the big things you help these owners with?
Wow. Well, one of the things, a statistic that when I started studying for this, that amazed me is 70% of small businesses that try to sell never sell. So there's a big difference between what we as owners have about what our business is worth and what people from the outside as potential buyers see. And there's a real disconnect there. So exit planning really is partly an educational process of trying to educate the owner and help them see their business from the outside, and business wise, help them see how they can improve things to have the business be better and more ready to sell down the road.
As
Also, it's got kind of that my specialties, financial planning, and it's really getting them ready to retire and getting a personal plan for, once I'm not a business owner, what's that next chapter look like? And that's a real hurdle for most owners.
When you mentioned that as many as 70% of businesses go unsold, is it that price point that you feel is the biggest stumbling block? Is that the misconception a lot of people have that prevent their businesses from selling?
I think it even goes further of people assuming their business is sellable and somebody else is going to want it. And that's the big thing, is unless they can find somebody just like them that wants the exact same thing, they've set it up for a lifestyle business or a specific style, which buyers just aren't looking for. So it's that, and truthfully, a lot of people get ready or start down the process, then realize I'm not ready yet. So it can really turn off people if they come and not really sure, it's wishy-washy whether they're ready to go or not.
To your point, how does a business owner know if they're ready? Are there things is there a checklist or something they should be looking
Uh,
out for? How do they know, and how long does it take to get them prepared to sell?
Depending, it can take a few months to potentially a year or more, depending. But we help by getting them through kind of three quick assessments. One is, are they really ready personally? Two, is the business ready? and then really looking at some gaps. Is there a profit gap, a value gap, and a wealth gap? I think some people look at it and say, oh, if I'm going to get that, I'm not really going to have enough to support my lifestyle, so I'm going to continue on working. Well, if that's the case, can we build the value up to that end number that you need to be able to retire?
Doug, what inspired you to really get into this specialty of helping business owners specifically? How did you get started with that?
Well, I think it really came out of financial planning in general and seeing that a lot of people aren't really mentally or emotionally ready to retire. They think they want to, but there's a lot of things to deal with that I think are more pronounced with a business owner. And we've got to really be ready for that. I mean, what am I going to be? What's my identity when I'm no longer a business owner? If I spent 30 or 40 years as a CEO and a business owner and I'm not anymore, what is that? What's my purpose? I've spent 30 years getting this business built up, getting it ready to turn over to my kids, and what comes next? For a lot of people, it's almost a freak out or chicken out, and they start moving that way and then kind of freeze up. And there's a lot of emotional things, the loss of relationships, the loss of that purpose, identity are things we have to work through. So we kind of help them put together a plan of life after business and get a vision for what that's like.
Before I ask you my last question, Doug, is there anything that in regards to exit planning that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is really important to share with business owners?
I think the best thing is to find somebody that can help them get an outside perspective, because they're not going to be selling this to somebody just like them. They've got to make it look ready to sell and attractive to somebody on the outside. And a lot of times, day to day, when we're just in running things, we can't really think of what somebody else sees because we're so intimate with the details, and it's our baby.
Great insight. Doug, for business owners listening that would like to speak with you and potentially get your help, how can they find you and learn more?
Probably the easiest way is to go to our website, which is heritagefinancialllc.com, and profile and information, contact information's on there, and that's the easiest way.
This has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
That was Doug Gjerde. He's a managing partner at Heritage Financial. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.